Welcome to the club, 'cause you're that kind of nerd.
Hello, and welcome to the club. This is That Kind of Nerd. It's a show where we talk about the nerdy things we're passionate about and judge each other on what we bring to the table. I'm your host this week, Josh Burns, and I'm joined by CJ Mellon and Brian Thornton.
Ooh, that was nice to hear. That was good. Feels good to hear that again. How you doing, everybody?
Brian can't be asked. He can't be asked.
I don't know what to say because ChatGPT is at capacity.
I got that message earlier today, and I was like, no.
Okay, well,
back up. We're good.
Since relaunching the best nerdy podcast on planet Earth, we have a new show format. We're going to bring topics, and at the end of each topic, maybe throughout, I'll be judging the conversation and awarding points to my co-hosts. The winner at the end of this show will be the host next show. So we each have a topic. Because I was hosting, I kept mine pretty short, and I'll leave it to you guys to carry most of this. So what do we? How do we want to do this? The CJ used a wheel of names. Who was the first name selected?
I was the first name selected in the wheel of names.
Your topic.
All right, I can go first. All right, so I have an interesting to me topic. Who knows if it's interesting to the rest of the world? But I was scrolling through my Plex library the other day, looking at movies, and I was like, I need to watch something. I can't sleep. I want to watch a movie. I finally watched Glass Onion last night after thought and deliberation because I decided I wanted kind of a mystery thing. But a movie that I was kicking around to rewatch was the movie Passengers, starring Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know if you guys had seen the movie Passengers.
No, because one of you watched it and was like, "Don't watch that."
Listen,
I believe it was CJ who watched
yeah,
it.
so I think it was too.
But for some reason, he's watching it again.
I think we have it recorded. Him saying, "No, don't watch that."
Listen, don't watch it. It had such great potential, right? But unfortunately, they did this movie incorrectly in the sense of they did it from the wrong character's perspective. This movie would be a lot more interesting if you got it from Jennifer Lawrence's character's perspective rather than Chris Pratt's perspective. Then it becomes this like suspense thriller horror gone wrong. It becomes a mystery at this point. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm curious because you two are incredibly smart people when it comes to movies. Is there a movie or a book or a series, whatever you want, right? Is there a story that would be better or just more interesting to watch from another character's perspective?
Interesting. Interesting question, CJ. Wish you would have warned me about this beforehand, so I had some time to think about it.
Well, you know, don't always want that, right?
We could watch the whole MCU from Thanos' perspective.
I was actually going to say, and I don't
That'd be
think this would
different.
make this. I don't think it would be better.
Sure.
But I would say, you know, in regards to the MCU, just to play off of Josh there, MCU from normal Joe Schmo's point of view. I'm a rando guy in New York, and this shit.
Isn't there a
happens,
TV
right?
show about that now?
There's not yet, but there is a comic book called Marvels. And you said that, and I immediately thought of this book by Kurt Busiek, which is all about these huge events in the Marvel Universe happening and a reporter who's viewing it from the ground, right? And if there's not a TV show about it, Josh, or if there's not one in the works, you tell me, because I do think that would be a great concept for a show or a movie where we get to see, okay, hey, what was it like for Joe Schmo to be blipped? What was it like for Joe Schmo to see Doctor Strange fighting, you know, some netherworld being in the middle of Times Square? What was it like to watch, you know, Spider-Man fighting at the Statue of Liberty, right? Like, I always think that a story like that would be interesting. Now, you want me to say what would be better?
No, I mean, at this point, even just interesting or different, right? Like what you would watch either a TV show or a series or a movie, right? From a character's perspective, right? That's a good way to kind of have that.
I'm trying to think of movies that are not Marvel or DC that be interesting. You know, I need to get the characters.
Well, while you do that, I was asking my wife this question just to see, is there any merit to this question, right? Because sometimes I get a stupid thought in my head and it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And I kind of asked her, what do you think it would be like to watch the Harry Potter franchise from Neville's perspective? Knowing that
being the almost chosen one?
The almost chosen one. But listen, while he is the almost chosen one, his life is still completely uprooted and traumatized and terrible because even if he's not the chosen one, his parents are essentially dead, right?
Yeah, I think that question has been asked, and I really don't care.
And Neville wouldn't be the character. I don't think that would be the most interesting. Like Draco Malfoy or
Draco. Yeah,
you're right.
You know,
someone
you'd
someone
want
in Slytherin, someone who is, especially someone like Draco, right?
Or Dumbledore, one of those two, right? And look, I think I'm always a fan. You guys know I'm a fan of vampire flicks, and not in like the, obviously Blade's amazing, but we're gonna take that out. I would love to watch a movie from the vampire's perspective, not
Blade. Gotcha.
Not Blade, but like, not from the guy hunting the vampire. Like I want to, he's just a good guy, and not like a Hotel Transylvania kind of way, but kind of like not far off that.
Sure.
I found the character's name I was looking for. I don't know if it would be better. It would certainly be interesting. It might even be a little funny. I would not mind, and it doesn't have to be a whole movie. Mm-hmm. Give me like a half hour, 40 minutes short of Memento from Teddy's point of view. Like following Guy Pearce around, propping all these breadcrumbs, trying to figure out, like, point him in the right direction so that he kills the right guy. Like, I mean, I think that would be interesting, right? Like, I think, and I mean, spoilers for a 20-year-old movie at this point. But you get to that twist and you're like, oh, holy crap. Like, this guy's pulling the strings the entire time for, his friend. Like, how does he choose, who Leonard's going to go after? How does he make those decisions? What does he do to point him in the right direction? And, does he do any research, or does he think it's like it's the Death Note thing, right? Only, the Death Note movie was trash. The Death Note anime is great, but like this concept of, I have carte blanche essentially to off people who have done bad things. How do you go about making that decision? Does that corrupt you morally? Like, how, do you get a God complex? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Other than that,
2 points, Brian, for an original person. I would never have thought about Memento from Teddy's perspective.
That is a good call out.
I was thinking like Mean Girls from Regina George's perspective, or like Back to the Future from Doc Brown's perspective.
What about the Prestige from the twin brothers' perspective, who's just in hiding the entire film?
See, but he's not though, because they're both the twin.
I get it, but one twin is pretty much in hiding for most of the film.
I mean, could you?
No, that's not true at all. That's your okay.
Oh, I gotta fight.
This makes me feel like you've completely missed the point of the movie.
Listen, I have to rewatch it, but go for it.
There's a running theme through the movie where Rebecca Hall says to Christian Bale, "It's true today. Some days you love me and some days you don't. Today you do." Right? Meaning that she can tell, or look at his eyes or the way he says it or whatever, when it's the twin. Right? And they switch all the time. It's, if the one brother was in hiding all the time, he wouldn't have had to chop his finger off. You know what I mean? So it was this constant, they were always switching places until the one got locked up.
Yeah. No, I get it. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Avatar from the perspective of anybody who was not involved in Avatar. Just some random guy living his life on Earth. I will watch that for 3 hours.
Just like I would like to see Star Wars from anyone's perspective that has no connection whatsoever to a Skywalker, right? I would love to see that.
No. Why wouldn't you go immediately to Darth Vader's perspective there?
Oh, that would be...
But
I want
Star
POV.
Wars
I want
original.
POV of Darth Vader's part. Give me the mask.
Sure.
Star Wars original trilogy is great. I'm fine with that. But all of the prequels and the sequels, right? I'm fine with that not being from a Skywalker perspective.
What about I'm with Brian on just a clip, just a thing. I just for funsies. Can you show me the perspective of Fight Club from one of the people who joins the club and watches Tyler Durden?
Like from Jared Leto's point of view?
Yeah. Give me that where I just I get roped into this thing. This guy seems a little off and a little crazy, but you know what? I'm totally with them. And then being like, oh, this is fucked up, right? And just get that reveal for it.
How about any Bond film from M's perspective? Where M's just gotta cover up
form.
all the ridiculous bullshit that Bond
yes.
is doing. Be like, he blew up what?
Russia?
Right, hang on.
He blew up all of Russia?
I think that would be fun.
I have
Just
to file
watching
out another HR sexual harassment complaint. We have to have another seminar.
Yes, he has to go through.
How about Mission Impossible 3 from Michelle Monaghan's perspective?
Oh,
that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you just think you got a normal life going on, and then
Right,
bam.
you've got a normal life, and now
well,
it's
that's
thrown into chaos.
that's night and day.
No, it's not. No.
It's night and
No,
day.
it's not night and day. And
Yeah,
I
it's
was
a little
thinking
bit
night and day, except he
about
kept
night and
telling her how crazy things were going to get. Like he kept preparing her. June, she was great, but he kept preparing her. Right? This was not. It's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
Okay. I'm thinking of there's other movies where I just found out my husband. True Lies. It's True Lies, but Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously. I just found out my husband's a spy. But there's been a movie like that, and I can't remember.
But I get it. But again,
But that one goes extreme. Like Mission Impossible goes, she's tied up to a chair. She's threatened with death.
yeah.
It is a torture. I mean, that's the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman, right? I'm trying to remember.
that's right.
That scene is intense.
Right.
And doing it from someone who just thought, I have a pretty boring, husband, to holy shit, I'm tied to a chair and I'm being tortured. Yeah, it'd be interesting. So you get the record scratch at the beginning. So you're wondering probably how I got here, and you get that kind of perspective.
That's right.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off from the perspective of anyone who's trying to save Ferris.
From Cam's perspective.
From Cam's perspective would be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indiana Jones from Short Round's perspective, from Marion's perspective, from his dad's perspective. I mean, what about Indiana Jones from the school administrator's perspective? Going, where the fuck is Dr. Jones?
He's never here. I never know
here.
what he's doing.
We need to find a substitute again.
Have you seen his syllabus? It's practically non-existent.
What about The Curious Case of Benjamin Button from Daisy's perspective?
I've never seen that movie. Is Daisy Kate Blanchett?
I saw
What?
it one time.
I've never seen
and
Benjamin.
I
It never-
barely
Oh,
remember.
God, it's amazing. I must have watched this movie 10 times.
It was never like, ooh, I want to see what that looks
it's so
like.
good. You have to watch it. It's so good. And not just because Brad Pitt particularly, but the entire cast is really good.
Yeah. No, I believe you. It just was one of those things that I was like, eh.
This reminds me of, it was a very short-lived show, and I don't remember if it was DC or if it was Marvel, but it starred Danny Pudi and a whole bunch of other people that were
It was DC. It was called Powerless.
Powerless, right?
It wasn't. Oh no, it was called Powers. Powerless was
Powers.
the Marvel comic book series.
It was a very unique perspective of you're living in. If it was
No, it
DC,
wasn't.
then
Damn it! It wasn't Powers. Hang on, I'm going to find the name of this.
I know
but
what you're. It was
You know what I'm talking about?
wasn't it like an insurance company or something?
Yes.
No.
Or a law firm or some shit?
I thought they were
This-
PR. God damn.
This
now I have to
was.
look it up.
Hang on, I'm looking it up right now because I watched the entire series.
I did too because
It's
it had
insurance.
It shows you it had Vanessa
Ron
Hudgens in it.
Funches.
It's Powerless. It's called Powerless.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because that's also the name of a.
That's
of a comic
Vanessa
book
Hudgens.
series.
It's
Yeah.
Powerless.
Okay. It's Powerless. So this was a totally decent concept, but it was. It was an insurance company.
This is
Josh,
what I
you're
was
right.
talking about when you
But it was
started
completely
saying.
executed, totally boneheaded.
Yeah, they forgot to bring the funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. But that is a fun. And again, I know that exists within comics too, right? That there's the cleanup crew for the
Damage
MCU,
control.
right? And you get all of that, and just like, okay, again, interesting to see that part. Anyone's perspective of Metropolis the day that Man of Steel happened, right? Just going about your day, and then skyscrapers are getting cut in half, and you're
Yeah,
trying to
I
get
mean,
through
we
that.
kind of got Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? We kind of got that.
We did. We got
I
one
was-
shot of that.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that, and then
we
got Bruce
didn't
Wayne's
have one
point of view.
shot. It was a whole scene. It was like a whole.
That's right. They were selling a Jeep. That's right.
Right. And like, listen, and you saw it from like a very radicalized point of view, right? A very much like kill the alien point of view, which isn't everybody's point of view. But like, listen, I'm not going to wax poetic about how terrible fucking BVS is. We'll be here all day. But what I will say is like any series that you could think of with like a villain who is either misunderstood or is kind of put upon. I think about Captain Hook, right? And I think about the fact that like, is he really the villain, right? There's like been all sorts of like stories told from his point of view and thing. And that stuff is interesting, right? Because like really Captain Hook's
just trying to stop Peter from kidnapping children.
Right. He's right. The only adult in a land filled with prepubescent kids and he's just trying to maintain order, right? Poor guy is just trying to like, listen, you can't be like stealing children in the middle of the night, right? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Hook from Hook's perspective, you know? It's one of those things. Like we could sit here and talk for hours as I continue to think of other
this
films.
reminds me of, there's the episode of Scrubs where they do basically all the B-list cast, right? The C-tier people, and they follow them throughout an entire day, and you're just like, oh, right, okay. This is a show that actually cares about like the background characters and says, oh, they have lives, they have needs, they have a whole story to them.
Speaking of which, one more. Thinking about Vanessa Hudgens.
So go ahead.
Ooh, good.
Thinking about Vanessa Hudgens. High School Musical. From anybody else who goes to that high school who's not singing him, like looking around and be like, what the fuck are they? Oh, poor Troy. He can't choose between basketball and being the leads in a play. Oh my God. What a jackass. Like, oh man.
To be fair, that was partially my perspective throughout high school. When the
you
jocks
poor
joined the
thing.
musicals. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I know Mama Mellon was very tough about going to basketball.
What I'm saying is, there were people who played sports who then did the plays. Were like, this is tough. I'm like, shut up, get out of here.
But like, I'm not talking about someone who's in the basketball team or someone who's in the theater. We already got that. I'm talking about the guy like me who didn't do a ton of extracurriculars, who just wanted to get in and get out. And then I'm sitting in the cafeteria while they're all dancing on the tables trying to eat my fucking grilled cheese sandwich and be like, dude, like, the world's not about you.
Well, there we go.
Can we move on?
We just dropped Brian into different movies now and just get his perspective on this. God damn it. My car is destroyed again because of the Hulk. Fuck, this is the 5th time.
Well, I would have insurance that covers that.
That's right.
All right, Josh, you said you had 2 more.
I have 2 more, and then we'll move on. I have I would like to see Chuck from Casey's perspective, and I would like and I would like to see House from Cuddy's perspective.
Oh, another one where it's just like, let me just deal with all the bureaucratic
work.
He temporarily killed a patient. All right, I'm very sorry. Let me deal with the lawyers.
But the guy got better. Okay, he got better.
Our insurance is going to go up.
Okay. Why are we the only hospital with a diagnostics department? Why are we the only one?
They actually aren't. Like, listen, I just rewatched that entire series not too long ago. There's multiple storylines of Foreman like, I got this offer from another hospital.
Well, yeah, because of House. And then they close it down after Foreman fucks up.
There's no way that it's the only hospital with a diagnostic
It's not the only hospital. They don't close it down. They fire Foreman.
Right.
Because Foreman does a house risk. And
let's get that. There it is. There's that hospital. You hire Foreman thinking this is going to be great.
The chief of medicine says, I hired you. I didn't hire House. And pretty much says, I can't trust you, and lets him go. Right. So like they exist, but it was always interesting, to Josh's point, the few moments that we did get to see from Cuddy's perspective, like the brief scene where she's trying to talk down the patient or she's in a board meeting, she's talking down a patient after something ridiculous just happened. Right. And she's just like, but he got better. Right. Like
it turned me into a newt.
I would not mind seeing that. That's always fun. Or even Wilson's perspective, right? Josh just like the poor guy trying to run his oncology department, constantly getting roped into these ridiculous scenarios.
Yeah. Why is he in so many surgeries? You're an oncologist. Why
he has to be there? Watson has to be next to Holmes at all times.
That's very true. That is the rule.
At all times. All right. We're moving on. Brian, do you have a topic you would like to discuss with us?
I thought CJ was going to steal my topic. I was getting very angry as he was doing his intro. And it's topic adjacent, but it's not the topic. So I've actually been holding on to this topic for months. And obviously we know, we've had some issues recording between my laptop going down, and obviously I'm getting over being sick. My entire family was sick, all this fun stuff, right? So every week where we're like, hey, are we going to record? And, one of us has to cancel due to unforeseen circumstance. I'm like, God damn it. I still have this topic. So I'm glad CJ didn't steal it at the last minute because I would have been so angry.
You're welcome.
Um,
Can I get points for not stealing this topic?
I'll give you a point. 1 point.
Yay.
I saw a trailer for a movie a couple months ago, and now that movie is out. That's how long I've been holding on to this topic for. Have you guys seen the trailer for the movie Megan?
No.
No, because it looks terrifying.
Okay. It may look terrifying at points, Josh, but it's a horror movie, right? And it looks like the worst piece of shit I have ever seen, and I must see this film. It's one of those films I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh my God, this looks so bad.
Right.
Yeah, great.
I have to see it.
Oh, man.
I have to see this train wreck. And if they were able to even salvage it, right? So Megan is about a daughter, well, not a daughter, a little girl loses her parents, goes to live with her aunt. Her aunt happens to be bigwig scientist working on some AI robotics, right? And this robot takes the form of this little girl called Megan. And Aunt, in her infinite wisdom, decides, let's test it out with this daughter that I now have, this young girl who is impressionable, who needs a friend, who is grieving. Let's give her a friend in Megan. And the concept itself is a little ridiculous, but you can see where a horror film will come from this, right? Megan is tasked with protecting the girl. So even someone who's looking sideways at her, Megan takes that to the extreme and wants to chop their head off or things like that, right?
Right.
So it's one of those AI gone too far. And in celebration of AI gone too far, I wrote some more of this topic's introduction with ChatGPT because it finally came up. So I'm going to read what ChatGPT has said, and then I'm going to pose this question to you. So, as a film lover and nerd, I've seen my fair share of bad movies, but some stand out as particularly terrible. One of the worst movies I've seen is the 2015 fantasy film Seventh Son. I've never seen it. The movie had a star-studded cast, including Jeff Bridges and Julianne Moore, but the story was convoluted and the special effects were underwhelming. It was a complete waste of time. I would be remiss if I did not mention 2008's film The Love Guru, starring Mike Myers. The movie was supposed to be a comedy, but it fell flat on every level. The jokes were not funny, the acting was terrible, and the story was non-existent. It was a complete disaster. So that's what ChatGPT wrote. Apparently, ChatGPT has seen some movies.
This is very meta. This whole topic is incredibly meta.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, I'm giving all this build up. Hopefully you guys are seeing where I'm going. I'm asking you this question. What's so bad, but they're good movies? Do you don't care how bad they are or what the critics say? It's one of those films that, like, I know it's terrible. I know it's awful, but I still love it. What are those movies for you?
Like the guilty pleasure movie.
Yes. Because I have a feeling I will see Megan, not in the theater because I have a young child, but I will see Megan and it will be one of those, oh, this is so terrible, it's funny, and I kind of love it for it type of films.
I'm gonna steal a shared experience and then I'll come back to think of another one. But and mainly because the three of us went and saw The Meg. The Meg is awful. That is a bad movie. Objectively, hands down, a bad movie. But God, Jason Statham kicking in that movie, right? You almost kicked that shark. We were so close to it.
It's very close.
We were so close to it. That is a movie that is critically bad. It had no choice. It had no chance of being good. But I'll watch it again. If you put it on right now and was like, "Hey, we're gonna watch The Meg," I'd be like, "All right, I'm down. Let's watch The Meg."
Funny story. Not too long ago, we were looking for a movie to watch, and Cassandra loves shark films. We watch Jaws every year. We watched the Shallows with Blake Lively. Loved it. And she said, I know you've seen this film. I know you're not a fan of it, but can we watch The Meg? And I was like, hell yeah, we can watch The Meg. And I paid $5 to rent it.
Oh.
So it wasn't even like, oh, it's free. But like, no, I actually paid money to see that film again. And it's still terrible. Just FYI.
See, I think a lot of, I think the problem is that a lot of like horror and action and like get just shoved into this so bad it's good, right? For like it's all about the like Jackie Chan's Who Am I?
Right.
I love that movie. I love it. I'm like and there was like I feel like you saw the like recurring Tommy Wiseau TikToks and you're like, oh, this has to be a topic.
The room is definitely on that list, right? It's not like a movie that I'll watch, but like if like or like be like, oh, it's a Saturday night, I have a million other things to watch, but let me put on The Room. But yeah, Josh, like it's one of those films that like someone says, hey, do you like The Room? You're like, it's definitely interesting, and I do enjoy it for that, right?
There was a super early, I mean super early, Jim Carrey movie called Once Bitten.
Oh yes.
I remember this film.
Yes.
It was like 1986-ish. It was like Jim Carrey and Lauren Hutton, and it was, God, was it awful, but I love it. I still love it. And that's the, see, here's the other thing. I think you can put a lot of like 80s campy crap in there. The Last Dragon is probably in my top 20.
Yeah.
And it's an awful movie. I mean, God, watch it one time. You can, oh, this is the worst acting ever. Pray for Death is a ninja flick from the mid 80s that I still love. Iron Eagle. I will never stop loving Iron Eagle. And that is a bad movie.
That is a bad movie.
But I love it so much.
It's one, and it's funny, you hit it on the head, right? A lot of horror and action tend to hit in this realm. I will tell you, I have one completely off the beaten path thing that I've seen that you probably have never seen, and one that I know you guys have seen. I watched a movie in my teenage years called Robo Geisha. It was you probably would never have seen it. It's obviously, it was in my phase where I was like just actively searching for bad films to watch, right? And it's crazy. It's over the top. There's legitimately a robot woman who somehow turns into a tank at the end, and during the climax fights a building with like little stubby arms. Like, it's bad, but it's hilarious. The thing I know you've seen, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, is one of these films.
Well, see, that I was about to say, like all the Mortal Kombat movies, the Street Fighter movies,
And
Kickboxer,
Street Fighter with
Jean-Claude,
Jean-Claude,
anything Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? And then
Time Cop.
The
We
Expendables
watched
is even
Time
one of
Cop.
those movies too.
right?
Sometimes.
I agree. Expendables is so bad that it's good. And Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze.
Oh, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse is amazing. Point Break is another one. Like these movies are beyond badly written, poorly acted, poorly directed, just terrible stories. Terrible.
Right.
What is he going to do? He's going to rip that guy's throat out, I bet. What? No, he's not. Right? Like, and you think about bad movies that we have seen in the X-Men era, right? Where you go, that is not so bad, it's good. It's just bad.
Just bad. It's just bad.
It's well, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? So like some of these, like crazy, cheap, like low budget, campy, they're just good. They just feel good.
Right.
Nothing but trouble. Demi Moore, Dan Aykroyd. Come on, you've seen this movie, Chevy Chase.
I've never seen.
Never
Nothing
seen.
But
I
Trouble.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Look it up. Nothing but trouble.
I'm looking it up now.
It's an amazingly bad movie. It's so good.
Can you put Too Fast, Too Furious on this list? Because Too Fast, Too Furious is a bad movie.
I was gonna say Too Fast, Too Furious definitely falls into this camp. I've seen the cover to Nothing But Trouble, Josh. I've never watched it.
Oh, hold on. I know a movie that one of you two has seen that is so bad it's good, and I don't know which one of you it is, but one of you likes Ambulance.
Oh, me. That's me.
There you go. That's Josh. Josh, that movie is so bad.
If something is sub 20% Rotten Tomatoes, gimme. If it's, and I gotta pull up a list because I know I've watched a lot of these.
Oh, I love all the White House Downs, all the
yeah,
Gerard
those-
Butler. I went and saw the third one in Angel Has Fallen in theaters. I put down and I was like, listen, We
Where
know
are
this
you
is
at on
bad.
Geostorm?
Geostorm!
Yes.
Pretty much if you peruse how did this get made, I'm just like, I'd watch that. Nope, I did watch that one. Okay.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch, right? Like, and I the reason I ask this too is not just because of the Megan trailer, but if you go, I will tell you right now, if you're looking for things that are like completely off the beaten path, Amazon Prime has got you covered.
Oh man,
I have watched.
does it ever?
I
Listen,
watched
if
a
you-
movie called Zombievers. Zombievers. Josh, is the things you love. It's zombies and beavers. You should watch it. I don't know why we're worried about zombie beavers. What do they do? Just eat more wood, I guess, right? But like,
That's right.
it was awful. And then obviously there's, of course, Lamageddon and Velocipaster, which I know has gotten a lot of press,
that's a
right?
classic one.
Like,
Look, Bruce Willis has made no fewer than 20 movies in the past 2 years. Like, and they're all terrible. Give them all a watch because they're worth it. They really are. There's one with him and Frank Grillo. I'm like, this is great. Nobody likes it. I like it.
I've heard, and well, I mean, Bruce Willis is in about 5% of all those films, unfortunately. But yeah, I just was thinking for the past 4 months after I saw this movie Megan, and I'm like, man, like there are certain studios and certain filmmakers who make a movie, who advertise a movie, and they know they don't have gold on their hands, but
Right.
they know they're going to capture that niche audience.
Gerard
right?
Butler's got one out right now called Pilot that is exactly the same kind of thing. We're like, oh, okay. And it's got the guy who plays Luke Cage. I'm sorry, I don't remember the actor's name.
Michael Coulter.
Yeah, we're just like, this looks terrible, but like, I'd fucking watch this. Like, I'll wait for this to come out on a streaming service. I will sit down and give this my time.
American Anthem is a movie that my sister and I watched when we were kids. I mean, the movie, I don't know when it came out, but I just looked it up. It has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
American Anthem is a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes with a 65% audience score.
1986.
Yep, American Anthem. Steve Taveri, the gymnast.
It's amazing. And like that, and then obviously there's those films that like, oh, I love it because nostalgia reasons. I think Mortal Kombat, both of them fall into
Well,
this
like,
category.
Mortal
I think
Kombat is
Street
also
Fighter.
just like, we never thought we were going to get a Mortal Kombat movie. And
Okay,
they're like, oh, this
the
is
trailer
terrible.
for American Anthem is auto playing, and there's a guy named Mitch Gaylord in it. Really? Yeah, the main character is played by Mitch Gaylord. But yeah, like I think.
Oh,
of
The
things that,
Sorcerer's
like,
Apprentice. I'm sorry, The Sorcerer's Apprentice
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
is when you watch it again, it doesn't hold up. But I would also love to
It
watch.
holds
a sequel.
up.
I would love to watch a sequel.
I think a lot of Nick Cage's career, unfortunately. Think about it. Think about Face Off, right? Like,
They're making another one.
I know, I can't wait. But
And
like,
it was
that
so
is,
bad.
that is definitely a movie that, like, if I were to actually think critically about this film, it's not a good film.
No.
Peach.
But it's
I could eat a
just so
peach for
awesome.
hours.
It's so fun. Nick Cage gets to do his Nick Cage thing, right? And like, it's always great when you let Nick Cage out of the bottle a little bit. I think about this Renfield movie that's coming out, and I'm
Right.
like,
Yes.
I'm like, this is probably going to be one of those films, right? Because that's another movie where I watched the trailer and I said, this looks terrible. And the reason it looks terrible is not because of the subject matter. I don't mind seeing a movie about the guy who is, grabbing people for Dracula to feed
Right.
on, played by Nicolas Cage. I think that's an amazing pitch. But then once they start throwing in like Nick Holt doing like Matrix martial arts, I'm like, no, this is going to be awful. You could have had a legit kind of serious dramedy about this, but now we're throwing in martial arts, and now I can't take you seriously.
That's like Warm Bodies, right? That's another one. Again, Nick Holt.
I highly enjoyed Warm Bodies.
Yeah, well, right.
Warm Bodies was one of those films when at the peak of Twilight Fever and Hunger and all those teenager fucking like YA adaptations we were getting, Warm Bodies is like, this is stupid. Let's show people how stupid it is.
Right.
You know? That's why I appreciate that film so much. But yeah, like
this is a good walk down my terrible movie collection of just going, this is a
yeah, I mean, I haven't even
love
looked
it.
at what I have in my movie collection.
Yeah,
think
I was
about
doing
all the
that. I'm
things-
just like, oh,
I think about all the things that I picked up for like $2, $3, $5 just to be like, It's a movie. I like that person. Let me check it out. You know.
Let me just look at the stuff I've asked you to put on Plex.
The stuff that you've asked me to get for you, Josh.
Yeah. Blacklight is an 8% movie I asked you to put on Plex. Good Morning is a comedy, like a half-baked sort of thing, starring Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun
That's
Kelly,
how bad
yeah.
that is.
Can I tell you, when I downloaded that movie, my computer's like, why? No.
Look, there's a lot of. I ask you to put a lot of bait because I love. And Laura's like, she's like, oh, it's really bad. You must love this. I'm like, I do. I like really bad shows. Seriously, when you think about like some of the shows that I have absolutely loved over the past however many years. Look, the Shield. That's bad. It's bad, right? But I love it. The Unit, terrible show. I love it. It's amazing. It's so great.
The new Quantum Leap is that for me right now, where I'm watching this going, this is awful, and I cannot stop watching. I'm so excited. Give me more episodes.
I just had this flash across my eyes, and I was like, Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is one of these. And like, it's a bad film, and like movie critics will be like, oh, you need to view it as satire. Even as satire, it's not that good, right? But damn,
Anything with Ruby Rose.
Anything with Ruby Rose. And you know what got me down to Starship Troopers? I was thinking, Michael Ironside does a lot of these. Like Michael Ironside's one of those guys who's like, when are you filming? 2 days from now? Okay, I'll be there.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Absolutely.
And good for him.
What do you need me to do? Smoke a cigar and furrow my brow? Yep.
I'll be there. You got it. Because and this reminds me of the other part too, which is, while I love Kevin Smith, Yoga Hosers is a bad movie.
It is, but this is a perfect
movie,
example.
I do
love Yoga Hosers. I do enjoy Yoga Hosers. Anything the Wayans brothers have done in the past, 30 years since they've been born. And when I say the Wayans brothers, I'm not talking about Damon.
No, you mean
or Keenan Ivory. I'm talking about Sean and Marlon, right? Even the semi-good stuff. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra.
Love G.I. Joe. So bad. So bad.
And in that same vein, pretty much anything Channing Tatum does falls in this category for me.
The Lost City. Did you guys watch that?
I just watched The Lost City.
It's on my watch list. Is it so bad?
It's so good.
Okay.
It's enjoyable. It's definitely enjoyable.
So good.
I have TV shows that are like this more than I have movies. And the worst part about a TV show is you're like, I'm going to invest 13 hours.
You're invested for several hours.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Ordinary Joe stars James Wolk, and he is so bland, but also the story is so good, but also it's terrible. That I'm just sitting there going, I'm watching every episode of this. Like, without a doubt, I know it's already canceled. I know they're going to cancel this at the end of this season, but I am here for every fucking minute of this. Give it to me now.
Power is that way. Power is, it's such a soap
Power
opera.
is that show on Stars, isn't it?
Is it on Stars? Yeah. And they've done like 3 spin-offs now. So there's a couple shows on Stars, both that are produced in some way by 50 Cent. Power has there's 5 seasons of Power, and then there are 3 or 4 spin-offs. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm working my way through the first. And then there's Black Mafia Family, and that has its root in a true story. Detroit in the 80s and 90s and then present day. So I'm watching both of those, and Black Mafia Family just started another season. It's really solid, but Power is so soap opera like that it's just terrible, and it's awesome. I cannot stop watching. It's so good.
Go ahead.
The Cape was like this for me, as long as we're on TV shows.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie, right? But I remember watching that show week to week and be like, this is not good. It's trying to be dark, but it's not dark at all. But I kept watching it because I'm like, this might be the only TV show I get with a superhero in it, right? And I like Summer Glau. Little did I know, fast forward, 10 years later, we have all the Marvel Universe on TV right now. But
this reminds me of one other thing. That is having a renaissance right now, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace it. I like Nickelback. I don't get the hate. Nickelback is a fine. Listen, Josh.
No.
Listen. Listen,
Nope.
Are you telling me
Brian,
the
do it.
hero
Do it right
song
now,
from
Brian.
Spider-Man comes on and you don't immediately
Okay.
go, "There's a
I
hero"?
need to
Like, you don't
correct you
immediately
yet
do this?
again on this.
I don't.
Hero is not by Nickelback. Hero is by Chad Kroger and the guy from Saliva. I don't remember his name. It's not
Kroger
technically
is Nickelback.
It's not technically a Nickelback song. I will give you this, CJ. I like some Nickelback songs.
Nickelback's not that
there's,
bad. It's listen,
there's a handful.
Listen,
there's a handful. Of
I am
Nickelback
not
songs that I
saying
enjoy.
Nickelback is the greatest rock band in the blah blah blah. No. Nickelback is acceptable. Nickelback is good. Nickelback has songs that you know every fucking word to, right?
No. And no. And I listen.
I'm not ashamed of it. Just like I'm a Creed fan, I'll never apologize for loving Creed.
You really gotta do this to me when my voice.
Never
is the way it is.
apologize for loving Creed.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Welcome
doing
them with arms wide open.
it. Stop.
And no.
gonna
I'm
tear
going
my
to wash. I'm going to wash those two things out of my mind by thinking about Summer Glau just a little bit more.
And deducting points from CJ.
That's right. I deduct points from you for sure. And I'm going to move on. My topic, albeit short, CES wrapped up last week or a week ago ish, and there's always some good stuff. And I encourage everyone to go check out the good stuff. And sometimes we even make fun of the bad stuff. So I went and I took a look at the worst of CES, and I was
This is where the folding mate
disappointed.
came from. CES is where the folding mate came from.
Yeah. So there was an item that was in like the home gadgets. It was a featured thing, and I'm thinking for sure this will make the worst of CES. It did not. The worst of CES. Apparently, there's just a lot of stuff out there that is gathering data, including a little device that you put in your toilet and pee on.
Yes, I
literally-
saw this.
I
Now,
literally
I'm-
pulled up CES.
I'm not talking about that. I'm actually going to avoid. I don't care. Look, if you don't want your data collected, don't pee on something voluntarily, right? But that's not the thing. The thing that I want to talk about did not make the worst of CES. As a matter of fact, it made the best of CES, and I think this is just about the worst idea ever. It is a $3,800 AI-powered self-driving stroller.
What?
Nope.
Because that's what you want to put your baby.
What?
Nope.
It is an AI-powered. Just go to
Please
Gear
put it in the
Patrol.
show notes.
I'll put it in the show notes.
You know what's funny? I just looked up self-driving stroller, and it's on thisiswhyimbroke.com. Like it's the best thing in the world.
No.
Oh yeah, this is going to be all the rage with with rich parents. An AI-powered self-driving stroller. Now, I'm fully aware that it's going to have some sort of tie to your smartphone or device or whatever. That like there's going to be a proximity thing, of course, right? But man, I don't know. Well, I don't think we're there with AI yet, where I'm going to put my infant in the care.
You know what? My stroller has a leash on it.
How long, Brian and CJ, how long have we had OEM installed rear view cameras, backup cameras? How long?
2013, I think.
Yeah,
is when
about a decade.
about 10 years,
About
yeah.
a decade where it's been consumer available
Correct.
in every car. right?
mandatory at this point for new cars.
Basically,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, like I don't use my rearview mirror anymore.
And still,
They suck.
in a brand new, in my wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee, right? It's a 2021. This isn't brand new, but it was brand new when we bought it. We've had it for that long. Every time I back that thing into the driveway, it slams the brake thinking I'm going to hit something. Every single time it slams the brake, my head hits the thing up top. It's wonderful. Every time.
There's a rock my baby function to this.
Oh yeah. So
No.
I'm going to in a world where we can't master not avoiding imaginary obstacles, I'm going to put my baby in something,
Yeah.
right?
I saw a shadow. It's over.
That not only drives them like, okay, it's not like, all right, it's self-driving. Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want to walk the dog, right?
Sure.
And
Or
have
you're
the
running,
stroller-
right?
And
Yeah.
have the stroller like walk beside me,
Sure.
right? Now I could see that being somewhat tolerable.
Correct.
But this thing gets to decide. It gets to decide what happens. No.
And that's not even how they're like average. So like I'm seeing all these headlines, right? The one headline, the self-driving stroller is perfect for parents on the go. You know, it's also perfect for parents on the go. A stroller, a regular
regular
stroller.
Yeah.
Like, and as the newest parent among us, I never have taken my son out for a walk in that stroller and thought, you know, this motion, this is too much. I
This
can't
needs
do
to
this.
be. This is, you know, I enjoy spending time with my child, but it could be just a little more convenient.
Here's the thing. Every picture I see of this is of the parent, mostly the mother, which that's a whole other issue.
Oh yeah, I got
But-
problems with.
Yeah, don't get me started on the way things like this are advertised. But the parent, like power walking behind the stroller.
Right.
If you want to power walk, good for you. You deserve it. Health is important, right? You can hold the stroller. My fucking stroller has a setting where I flip it up and I can jog while holding the stroller.
Yes.
And it's shock absorbent, right?
Right,
So it
so you
doesn't
can-
tussle the kid around.
Right.
That's all I need.
The other marketing material is I have to hold my child, and now I have a stroller. Oh, this is so inconvenient to carry with me. It has 4 fucking wheels. Just put one hand on it and carry your kid. Here's the AI this is using, and you guys both know this is true. This is based off like the DJI drones that can follow you, right? So you throw a drone in the air and you're like, look at this face. You see this face? Yeah. You stay with this face no matter what. Now, you see that tree? Yeah, don't fucking hit the tree. Okay, I got you, bro. It's in the air. There are far less obstacles to encounter when
Right.
in the air.
Does it judge? Uneven? Can it judge uneven?
I'm sure it can judge it, and
sidewalks?
it's like, we can go over this. We can make it. Hold my beer.
Yeah,
we
we got this. We're good.
Hold my beer. I got
I know. You know, does it know the difference between a puddle and a divot? I don't know. You know, but here's what I do like about Brian and what you just said, and I'm awarding you points for joining the merry band of fathers who are enraged about how products are marketed.
So, to get even more meta on this topic, I still have ChatGPT pulled up. And I asked it to write a review for the self-driving stroller. And no surprise, the AI loves the idea of an AI stroller. The self-driving stroller is
Yes,
a
give
game
me your
changer.
children.
Game changer for busy parents on the go. It's the stroller that can be controlled via a smartphone app, allowing parents to navigate through crowded spaces or busy streets with ease.
You know what
That's
helps
the-
me
that is the
navigate through
first
busy
sentence.
streets with ease? My hands.
Yeah, Josh, and you would know better than anybody because you've been to way more cities than I've been. But like, if I'm pushing my child in a busy street, like, I don't know, New York City, Philadelphia, San Francisco, my fucking hands are not leaving
No.
that stroller. If I could climb into the stroller with my son, I would. I don't trust anybody to not knock into my freaking stroller, let alone an AI. What, an AI supposed to pivot when that asshole who is about to spill his coffee on my
Well,
stroller is
right?
just
What if
rushes out in front of me?
somebody bumps the? What if you're like waiting at the cross thing and somebody bumps it? What happens then?
I'm ready to walk. You have indicated I should walk. Enjoying them in traffic.
This fills me with the exact same opposite emotion of what the Foldy Mate filled me with 7 years ago.
That's right.
I am enraged that this is even something that we thought needed to exist.
Don't push. Just steer. Oh my god.
It's not a big deal. Again, as the newest father in the group, I am lazy as fuck sometimes. I get it. It is not that big a deal to push a stroller. It is not that demanding or taxing. And there's no one in the world who is this busy. You know what this is for? This is for the asshole parents. And yeah, I'll stand by that statement, who want to be on their fucking phone going through TikTok or updating their Facebook or whatever the fuck they want to do whilst going on a walk with the kid. That's what this is for. Because
I still
yeah,
don't know where you could walk, where you could possibly. Well, I mean, I guess if you lived in like Sweden, right, where everything is wide open and everything is nice.
If this was I see that it has a Swedish kind of name to it, right? If this was just, hey, they have this thing in Sweden, I'd be like, yeah, good for the Swedes. They probably
Yeah,
learned
it
that.
makes sense.
They're
It makes sense
leaps
if I'm
ahead
in
of us.
Sweden.
That's fine.
Or like if I was living in the Dubai Ring that they're constructing, right? If I was living in the Ring neighborhood
right.
where I just never need to go outside,
Sure, yeah, this
right?
makes
That's
sense.
probably
Like the
just like through
underwater
the halls of a hotel, right?
Like the underwater complex in the Meg, right? You just like walk around in a circle.
Yeah,
perfect.
right. Like if you were in a Disney resort, the resort, not the
park.
Yes.
right? The resort with the giant hallways and wide open spaces and not that many people. Yes.
To be fair,
but
even the
you're not.
robots that bring you room service aren't very good. I still wouldn't put my baby inside of it like it was a Kryptonian
I'm
escape
still
pod.
I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around trusting something to deliver an Amazon.
I was going to say
package.
this is valid
And yet,
technology for like Domino's wants to
CJ,
send
you were
a
going to
pizza
say
to
something
me.
a minute ago.
Yeah. This is valid technology for pizza and packages, right? This is great. Okay, the moment you put a living, I could maybe go as far as you could put a dog in this,
Nope.
and I would be
Nope.
okay.
You cannot put my dog in
I
this.
would be like a toy. No, you have a toy dog. I have a toy dog, right?
I
don't
have
care
a
what kind of
15-pound dog. No way.
I have a Papillon. I would put her in this because
Well, you're hoping it gets hit by a bus.
well, she'll be all right. I am not advocating for my dog to die, Josh, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't put there's a limit as to how much a precious life could go in this, and I draw the line at toy dog, right? But I also wouldn't even put a hey, I just bought a new Mac, put this in a robot and ship it to me. I wouldn't put that in a robot. So if you want to deliver a pizza, you want to deliver a package, you want to send me room service, put it in one of these things, but not your kids. Not your kids. This is no, thank you.
Well,
Hard pass.
listeners, I encourage you all to go look at the best and worst of CES. There are some cool stuff. That really innovation continues, and our
And then there's
technology,
bullshit like this.
our technology continues to get thinner, lighter, and also better. So I please go check out the best of CES. There's some great stuff. This was not among them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to score everyone. And then we're going to close the show out. So what I have for the score, CJ, I thank you for your initial topic. It's very different perspective. 5 points. Not stealing Brian's topic. 1 point. Awesomely bad contributions. 3. The technology that's valid for pizza and packages. 2 points, and you lose 2 points for Nickelback and Creed. 1 each. Leaving you with 9 points. Brian, Memento from a different perspective, I thought was incredibly
Solid.
original. 2 points. Avatar and High School Musical from anyone else's perspective. 4 points. The awesomely bad contributions get 3. Based on Megan gets 1. Joining us, Outraged Fathers gets a point. You lose 1 point. For never having seen Benjamin Button.
Okay. I'll take that.
You are left with 10 points. I declare you the winner and the host of our next show. And I will I'll thank you both for joining me. I'll thank everyone out there for joining us, making us your walk around the neighborhood or your drive to work.
Or your walk without your baby.
Or
Feet ahead of you.
your hands-free,
Your hands-free
your hands-free
stroller
baby walk. Yeah.
Actually, if you have this product, can you unsubscribe? Can you just leave? It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah.
you. It's all right.
Yeah, for sure. You can find us on basically any social media platform at That Kind of Nerd, or on Instagram at That Kind of Nerd Podcast.
That is correct.
That is correct. And we will see you next time.
Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.